who finds the Grail must face the final challenge.
What final challenge?
3 devices of such lethal cunning.
Booby traps?
Oh, yes. But I found the clues that will safely take us through in the Chronicles of St. Anselm.
Well, what are they?
Yeah. What is it? Hello, folks. How is everybody? Wow. God, I feel like a stranger in this community. What is going on? How is everybody? A little afternoon run, unplanned, unscheduled. Things are beginning to heat up out there. How is everybody? Hello, Eric. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in. No need to check in though, because I figure I'm probably this live stream is probably going to be checking in to most of the U.S. So hope everybody's doing great. Hello, Collector 515. I figured, you know what? I'll try to do, since I'm off today, I'll do an afternoon run, and maybe I'll grab the folks who have to commute back home. So something to listen. It's been getting crazy out there. Look, I get it. It's very saturated. Don't even get me started on the Batman line. There's way too many Batman. The Batman franchise IP is completely out of control. That's going to have to be its own separate live stream. We are here to talk about the Sith invasion, right? The Hot Toys Sith invasion. They've been teasing it for the last few days, and they finally dropped us some really interesting surprises here, to say the least. Hello, Andre. Hello. Thank you for checking in. And you probably wondering, well, Denobi, which one are you going to start first? Because there were 3 announcements. In fact, it was really odd, though. I thought we were going to get 4 announcements. One of the droids is it's MIA. Let's start off with that one, I would say. Yeah, I said let's start off with that one. You guys know where I'm going to. Let's start off with the BT and this guy, the BT-1 and the 000. This one right here, look, you guys who follow me, this was this was kind of predicted. This was an easy prediction through most collectors within the community. We knew that if Hot Toys if they were going to spend R&D in building a die-cast protocol droid, that they were going to essentially expand the line with variants, with not just cash grab variants, but legitimate variants. Because the nice thing about the protocol droid series is that they've just been seen throughout the films, they've been seen throughout the comics, the video games, and they come in all sorts of programming. And part of this Sith line that Hot Toys has introduced us with is the BT-1 and the 000. Now, I must confess, I never read actually, that's not true. I actually read one comic book years ago on this duo. I didn't enjoy it. I really didn't. It did nothing for me. I've always had an issue with non-canon, expanded universe, so to say. In fact, you can even look at the logo right there. It even says comic. At this point, I would say this is 2009. I think I read this series. This was introduced probably a little more than 10 years ago. I remember reading it. By this point in time, I was done. I was a big, avid comic book collector in the 90s. I invested a lot into comic books, storage, managing, and by the turn of the century, that whole comic book industry crashed, and it left me pretty sour. In fact, when I moved to Las Vegas in 2006, my comic books were barely worth 10 to 15 cents, and I probably had about 6 cases of comic books, and I had to just liquidate it all. And it's always been one of my sore spots when it comes to the comic book world. Moving to Vegas, though, occasionally at this point in time, probably in the mid-aughts, I did occasionally buy 1 or 2. I don't buy any more comic books anymore. I just don't. I'm done at this point. But around 2010 and 2009, I know on occasion, if I was interested in a particular series or character, I would probably buy one. So I know that I remember reading this particular with Dr. Afra and the whole expanded legend story with this, and it did nothing for me. Now, kudos for Hot Toys, though. You got to give them a little bit of applause, though, because they are taking a lesson from Hasbro, right? Hasbro has always been a staunch supporter of the expanded universe when it comes to making action figures. So this was a nice welcome surprise. The fact that they're taking a leap of faith. This is a risk, folks. This is a very, I would say, even I would still say an expensive risk, right? Because that BT1 does have, it is, I think it's being toted. Let me take a look here. I believe it's actually being toted as a diecast. Let me take a look here. I believe it's part, is it part of the diecast series? I guess not. I thought it was. I thought maybe it's not. I thought they were gonna, I thought the BT1 was a, I thought, am I losing my mind? Is not the BT1 being toted as part of the diecast series? I must be losing my mind. I gotta verify this on Sideshow. I was under the impression that the BT1 droid, the astromech droid, would be part of the diecast series, meaning that they were going to incorporate some good portion of it into diecast molding. Yeah, I guess I just imagined it. Okay. Well, then you know what? This would probably explain its price point. Yeah, for some weird reason, I thought that the BT1 was part of the diecast series. It has diecast, but it's not. So it has diecast, but it's not. It doesn't have enough diecast components to get it certified as part of the diecast series. Versus the last Attack of the Clones astromech droid, the R2, that has the diecast logo because the dome, I mean, essentially only the dome was diecast, but it was still enough material components of the diecast to get it certified. So this makes perfect sense to me now, because last night when I was going through the photos and doing the bit of research, I thought this was diecast, and then I looked at the price and I'm like, wow, Hot Toys is really, really generous. The fact that they're giving us another diecast astromech droid with a retail price of $220. I thought that was just phenomenal, but it makes perfect sense. And I'm assuming they couldn't go diecast simply because of the attachments with the BT1. He is more of an aggressive droid. He's known in the comic books for his armament, his weapons and so forth. So that makes perfect sense. I guess that's a little personal epiphany I just experienced here with you folks on this stream. Hello, Mojo. Hello. Thank you for checking in muggy Florida. It's probably raining in Florida right now. If it's in the afternoon or it just finished raining, I know Florida well enough. If you're in Central Florida, it's always raining there. Hello, Andre. Thank you for checking in. So, spoiler alert, I did pre-order this. I actually pre-ordered. This was weird. This whole situation, this whole Sith invasion from Hot Toys is just, it's bonkers. It's a little bit odd because they were all available on Sideshow last night by 11 p.m. my time, Pacific time. Like they were up and gung-ho ready. It was odd, but it is a droid. And I do have a soft spot for Star Wars droids. I really, really do. There's probably one droid right now that's probably never, ever going to enter my collection just because of my personal hatred towards that specific faction of Star Wars IP. I don't even want to talk about that specific droid, but this right here, this to me feels more canon, meaning that it can pass off as a cinematic representation of an astromech droid. It can blend in already with my already custom droid factory. I kind of built like a little miniature droid factory within my module case. So this right here is just phenomenal. I don't know if I'm going to have this particular astromech droid with the wacky attachments. To me, it's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And no, as far as balancing wise, no, it works great. I think that whole weapon attachment, I think it works fantastic in an animated comic book form. I think when you have it in a 3-dimensional format, I think it looks really stupid. I really do. But this version here, without the additional wacky headpieces, I think it looks like a phenomenal Imperial astromech droid. I mean, if you had a really cool diorama of, say, like a Death Star set, this would look beautiful going down the black shiny corridors of an Imperial Death Star type situation. So, honestly, for me, these are all an easy pass. Droids who look cool yet, but not feeling any of these. And that's one of the great things with, well, I don't know if it's a great thing. It's the world we live in as hot toy collectors right now, because essentially Hot Toys is it almost feels like Hot Toys has a dartboard, and they're just throwing darts on the board, and they're like, what do the fans want? Look, there is no cinematic representation of Star Wars right now. We don't even know when the next film. It's going on 5 years. It's probably going to be several more years, right? And you can thank the holy Star Wars fanatics. They essentially killed the Star Wars cinematic universe. So kudos for them. So what you have now left is Hot Toys essentially adapting and evolving, right? Their contractual obligations to the Disney Plus shows, the Ahsoka show, which I'm still flabbergasted that they're going hard on that for essentially based off the Nielsen ratings. It was one of the lowest viewed shows on Disney Plus, and the fact that Hot Toys is just going bonkers on it, I go, they're brave. They're essentially just brave to go that deep into the Ahsoka line. I'm not touching any of that shit. That whole shit looks just plain stupid. No, I'm not. Nothing from Ahsoka is entering this room. That whole thing just, you want to talk. I mean, look, I get it. Star Wars is a cash grab, but I mean, talk about just bending the fan community over. I don't. That doesn't exist in my Star Wars world. This particular, though, because as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I am very sensitive to the expanded universe and to the legends. I never went down that path. Look, at the time, I was following the teachings of George Lucas. This is probably the mid-aughts, and he went on multiple records clearly stating that none of that expanded universe bullshit counted. I was dedicated at the time to the Star Wars religion of the cinematic universe. That's just how, at the time, I was collecting. So all of that wacky expanded schlock just went over my head. Didn't care. If George says it doesn't count, fuck all that. It doesn't count. Cool, right? It doesn't count. It doesn't, and I get it. Once and I understand. I'm not trying to go, most of you know the history, right? And then George sold it to Disney, and years later still regretting that he ever did it. But that's where we're at right now, right? I like this. I gotta say, the 000 protocol droid looks fantastic, and the fact that they were able to tease with his little torture fingers. My rule with the wacky attachments also do apply to the 000. So when maybe tonight, I'm assuming 000 is going to drop in pre-order sometime this week. So when I have that particular protocol droid on display, I don't want any of the Edward Scissorhands butchery knives. No. It's wacky. No. It's you know how the best way to explain it? It's almost like Inspector Gadget. Like it defies the laws of physics, right? That's how I see it. And I get it. It's just my imagination. I collect. I like to set these things up. I like to pretend they're real. And on occasion, you may even see me playing with them. So seeing shards of blades being extended more than the fingers is just stupid. Just plain stupid. Same thing for this astromech droid. Again, it works great in the animated comic book format, but you try to portray this, say even on a Disney Plus show, all of these attachments and gadgets are all going to be CGI. And that's one of the things about, I've always personally as a collector, and I've always enjoyed about the astromech droids and the protocol droids, is that they've always, even in the cinematic world, they've always been presented with practical effects. RC astromech droid on set, you have a puppeteer in the background, you have a performer wearing a protocol suit. So to incorporate these two characters, because I could just see it. I would imagine Disney Plus is getting desperate, and we'll end up seeing a live version of these two. All of these extended gadgets are probably just all going to be CGI, and it's just going to look stupid. Again, that's for me. And I don't even assume that most of us are going to even collect this particular set. I am, though. I think it's fantastic. I think it's badass. I did pre-order it last night. Yes, you're right. That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a War Machine astromech droid. It looks bonkers. But you know, these characters were only created. Can someone fact check this? They were. This whole series was whipped up in the mid-aughts. Was it 2008, 7? So there could have been influence. They're not that old. It's not like these characters popped up in the 90s. This is in mid-aughts. I don't want to take time and double check, but if someone can, I'm almost positive that they were in the comment before. But again, this right here, this is just, to me, this is the winning shot. I love this. This is just really, really cool. And even if you're not a big fan of the particular characters, 000 and BT-1, I gotta say though, they do pass off as Imperial droids. Having them kind of positioned and posed, say with like a Sith Lord, Darth Vader, the Emperor, I mean, they look like they can hold jobs on a Death Star. So to me, this is a big win. Even if you're, like I said, even if you're not so much educated in the, like, I'm not. I mean, I already said I read the comic book over years ago. I know very little. I just know that they're evil droids, and the 000 likes to torture, and the other one likes to destroy shit. So, but that's good enough for me. Hello, here we go. Agent Silver Fox. Hello, sir. Hello. This is unusual. Of course. Greetings from Scotland, 10:30 p.m. Action in the Box. Hello from Brazil. Hello, good sir. These pieces are gorgeous. Love the black paint scheme. Can imagine how it will look in hand. Will go great. See, yes, that's just, I didn't even read this comment. It's exactly what I said. They're Imperial dark appearance. They can make great counterparts in imposability and displayability with other Sith Lords. So yeah, again, you don't, I think for these two, it's not so much important that you have to know the lore, right? Unless you want to. I mean, if you want to go down that, there's plenty of YouTube videos that can kind of bring you up to speed on the whole story arc of them. And I want to say, I think they're destroyed in the end. I think the BT-1 is destroyed. They're both destroyed. Spoiler alert for an old story, I guess. There you go. Thank you, Andre. Thank you. Thank you for facting. Yes, 2015. It's on Wikipedia. So yeah, they're not that brand new imaginary. I look at it, 2015. So yeah, so couldn't the writer got an inspiration, right, from War Machine? Clearly so, since the War Machine's been out for a while, and his first appearance was in Iron Man 2, 2010. So yeah, absolutely. We the people are, hello, good sir. Hello. Thank you for joining. We're talking about the Sith Invasion announcement drops, pre-orders from Sideshow here, and I'm talking about the droids because, you know, folks, I love the droids. I do. They're my friends. I love them. I can't. I pre-ordered BT1 last night. I had a $20 Sideshow coupon. So, yeah, this is stuff like this. Like, there's hot toy characters that I can sit around and wait, dilly dally, and I'm like, whatever. I'll add my collection. And then there's characters that, to me, represent the epitome of fun. Like, wow, I look forward to getting this color, this character. What can I do? Can I get some posability? Can I get some photo shoots? Can I take it out on location out in the desert? Can I add some USB hack into it, right? Can I make it pop, right? I love that 000's eyes are red, right? That's just, to me, that's badass. It's pretty cool. These droids would even look great next to the Inquisitor. Yes, again, Inquisitor's different art, but would look great on the shelf. You know, I think they can go neutral if you omit all of the Inspector Gadget accessories. I'm telling you, the astromech droid looks like it holds a job on the Death Star, and so does the protocol droid, right? It's very similar to kind of like a Death Star droid, but it's not technically a Death Star droid. But it can pass, right? It can definitely pass, as long as you don't add the whole nonsense. Um, yes, you're right. You're right. I didn't want to go down that path, but you're absolutely right. That little fucker's not entering my collection. It's just an abomination. No. Uh-uh. No, no, no. See what you've done. You've taken no, no, no.
No, he will not be trained.
No.
Mm-mm. Nope. Yeah. We all we need now are some Imperial mouse droids. Yes. Yes. The only my wish list droid that I would love to add into my collection would definitely be the Droidicas. And I know Black Series just unveiled their updated version, which I can't wait to get. I can't wait to get that. So I still collect some of the Black Series. I don't go hard on the Hasbro Black Series, but the Droidica, this new one with all the cool features, I can't wait to get it. I can't wait. So the fact I would probably just orgasm if Hot Toys ever announced the Droidica. And I thought that this is where they were going, because they kind of teased that one Instagram post about droids, and I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get the Droidicas. I was like, oh, I can't wait. I want 2 or 3. I just already imagine one with a shield bubble, and then the other one with lasers firing. How can I add the light and the effect to it? How can so I was already in my head. I want one in its wheel, for me, the Droidica, I shit you not, if Hot Toys announces the Droidica, minimum 3, only because I would want one of them in its wheel form, unless they include a deluxe version, which the deluxe version of the Droidica it's already compacted in its transformer wheel. And then, because I would definitely want one with a shield bubble, and I would want one in rapid fire mode. But never say never, though, because the May 4th is just around the corner, and we are on the cusp of the Phantom Menace 25th anniversary. So, Droidicas. Droidicas. Droids, Phison, Back to the Future. Exactly. Very. Hold on. That's actually pretty. It's actually pretty good. That's all right. All right. Where are you? That's definitely 10 points there. That's actually not far off. Although I'm looking at it now, and I would put the droids and then Back to the Future 2. And then you're right, NASA's on there. I'm in love with it. If I could marry NASA, I probably would. I'd love everything with the whole space industry. Love it. I get off on that. What else do we have here? So we're talking about, so again, this is an easy win for me. Beautiful. Like I said, get rid of the War Machine. I mean, Jesus, wouldn't it be funny as shit if Hot Toys repurposed some of the War Machine accessories into this little droid? That would be bonkers. That'd be bonkers so much. That'd be kind of cool. What other cool pictures? All right, and let's look at the what you're getting. So, like I said, when I started the stream, I thought this was going to be a diecast droid for $220. That's awesome. right? Because the last astromech droids from R2D2, my God, they've been pushing, well, with shipping and tax, 300, 3 and change, 340. Oh yeah, I make no mistake. Hot Toys has been essentially cucking us over with the astromech droids. They've been expensive. I mean, with all the accessories and all the stuff, but yeah, they've been 350. I think was the average retail price with shipping and tax, right? So the fact that we're getting an official Hot Toys astromech droid for 220 is not bad. Now, playing devil's advocate though, the R5, how much was that? That was the R5 droid set. That's what you got, the pit droid, and you got the little the other little droid in it. You had some accessories in that one. That was 275. So that, but yeah, that droid set still was under 200. It was 270 or 275. So this is probably the most economical, friendly astromech droid from Hot Toys to date. Astromech, though, we're not counting the battle droids, because the battle droids have been for $200. So yeah, I'm not, like I said, I get it. We're completely swamped. There's a ton of shit to collect, folks. It's 100% out of control. And that's why in my last live stream, I clearly said, I essentially created a barricade. I had to hire the separatists to create a blockade just to keep all of that Disney Plus schlock garbage from entering this collection. I'm done. Like if I hate on it anymore, I will essentially turn into a Sith. That's how much I'm just annoyed and angry with the whole Disney Plus schlock. So yeah, it's 100% block. I don't want any Ahsoka. All of that to me gets flushed in the toilet. That's all garbage for me. But I get it. I understand. There's people out there that, beat off to Ahsoka. I get it. I get it. We all have our acquired taste. Just for me. Ew, no. Aunt Jemima. Yes, I was hoping for no more. Should we bitch about Starkiller? All right, a fair discussion. Starkiller. Let's talk about him. Let's talk about a Sir Starkiller. When he was first teased, when Starkiller was first teased a couple weeks ago, everybody was like, "Oh, you're gonna get Starkiller." And I said it in a funny way. I'm like, who the fuck is that? I don't recognize. I go, and I just chucked it up to just be just getting old. I was like, I'm not kidding, folks. I'm like, I don't know who that is. That's Starkiller? Okay. Because at the time, I was, and I still am, but I was addicted to my 360, and I had this game. I had the Star Wars Force Unleashed. And I don't remember this skin. I go, and I get it. Maybe and I remember, I'm like, well, he went through different skins, and I just don't remember this. I don't. I had to research this. I had to go down Wikipedia. I had to research this crap. I go, who the fuck is this? This isn't my stuff. Not realizing that a year after the game's release, the original Star Wars The Force Unleashed was released in 2008, they came out with a Sith edition with included all the bonus skins. I mean, with the bonus maps and so forth. Yes, right? I did not know this. So it turns out I never played the Sith edition. I started The Force Unleashed. I played it. I beat the whole campaign. And at that point in time, right, this is the age of physical copies. I was churning and burning titles. So, and let me see, 2008. So my kid wasn't born yet. So yeah, I was churning and burning. Yeah, for monetary reasons, I didn't hold on to this game. I know I didn't because I was just. This is when GameStop was giving you like $2 for a trade, which they still are, and I think at this point in time they were doing promotional deals like, hey, if you can trade the Force Unleashed within under 30 days, you get like $22. Remember that when GameStop used to be generous and stuff like that? So I never held on to this game. I churned and burned it, and I traded it. So I wasn't losing my mind. I go, I don't know who this guy is. I don't remember the skin, and this is one of the situations that kind of pisses me off about Hot Toys. It almost, sometimes I always get the impression that the company runs and picks certain characters from a particular IP based on said owner's favorite, kind of like Todd McFarlane, right? Remember when Todd McFarlane in the early aughts was just doing shit that he liked, and he didn't really take into account what the customers wanted or liked? This is what this feels like. This feels exactly like that. Howard Chan probably thinks this is the coolest version of Starkiller. The problem is now, okay, so let me rewind. A couple years ago, there was a special edition Switch of the Force Unleashed released, which kind of piqued interest again. It resurged interest into the whole Starkiller story arc lore. In fact, Hasbro, loves to capitalize on any time someone is interested in something. So there are figures based on that. I think I have the Black Series on. I'm pretty sure I do. It's somewhere here. I have the Black Series of Starkiller, but it's the one where we see the actor's face. It's Sam Witwer. So this was bonkers. And I remember talking to my wonderful BFF, Mr. Delorean, and he was like, I think he was beaten off to this, and he's like, "Aren't you excited for this?" And I go, "I guess." I go, "I'll get excited for this if we're gonna get a head sculpt." I go, "Majority of the game and the cinematic cuts of the game feature the actor's likeness, Sam Witwer." So this was such an odd, like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, and if you a collector like me and you bitch about it, you're like, well, to know, but you should be fucking grateful that Hot Toys is making this for you. But that's not how I remember playing the Force Unleashed, right? It was the actor Sam Witwer, right? To me, that is the official skin. That right there, that look, that's him. That's how you play most of the game until you start to unlock achievements and so forth. So if you're going to make a representation of Starkiller, my only complaint is like, well, that's right here. That's the official look right there. That is Starkiller. That's it. Right? Shaved head of Sam Witwer, right? Great actor. He is, if you ever seen some of his videos, he is a true George Lucas believer. He's even correct. He's been known to correct writers when it comes to writing. So like he is a national treasure within the Star Wars universe. He really does go above and beyond and look out to protect the Star Wars continuity and interest in lore. So my only guess is that they did not want to pay the actor for his likeness, and then resort to what Howard Chan thought was cool by resorting to this version, Lord Starkiller, which is a skin that you get in the downloadable content on an expanded edition down the road. So I never played it. Like I said, I wasn't losing my mind. I was like, I don't like who? I got to get that meme, that the Guardians of the Galaxy meme in here. When I see stuff like this, like, Denobi, aren't you excited? I'm like, who? What the fuck is it? Who's that? That's not what I remember. I remember this. So now, knowing how the world of Hong Kong and China works, clearly some charlatan out there, some third-party charlatan, is probably going to generate a third-party head sculpt of the actor's likeness of Sam Witwer. So that could work, right? right? That can kind of work. Huh? Maybe. So, let's look at some comments. The San Diego Comic-Con Starkiller is the way to go for the Black Series. I don't remember that one. They made a 1/6 Starkiller with a face sculpt? No. Maybe some third-party company did. Maybe Poo Poo Toys or one of those. An afternoon run. I'm in. Mr. Mom! What's up, dude? What's up, Ryan? I'm not surprised if Disney is giving companies higher quota to meet in order to keep their license. It could very well be that too. But I've always felt that Hasbro has always been not so much a mistress when it comes to. I've always felt Hasbro has always been like one of the main wives. Hasbro loves to capitalize on all of this expanded stuff. It's never slowed them down. Yes, folks, this Starkiller is a downloadable content from the Sith edition. And again, assuming that you had and you paid and you went down that road, I didn't. I know I didn't because I never played any. I went down Wikipedia. I'm like, oh, I never played any of the downloadable content. And then a year later, they came out with the Sith edition, which included all. Never. Now, I did buy a copy of the Sith edition today on eBay because I kind of want to play it now. I'm like, you're asking me to fork up a lot of money for this character. So I kind of want to play it now. So I did end up picking up a copy on eBay. So that should be here in a few days or by the end of the week. So I do want to play it. I probably won't finish the game, but I do definitely want to be familiar. I kind of want to get down because I'm being tugged back and forth with so many titles right now, especially with I went down the rabbit hole of Fallout 4 because of the Amazon show, and it's been wild. It's just I'm getting tugged from so many different good titles right now. That's part of my absence from YouTube land. If I'm not chasing a solar eclipse, halfway through the country, if I'm not lost in the mountains hiking, if I'm not swimming through some rivers, I'm at home playing one of the titles that my kid is yelling at me to catch up with. And I get it. I get the Starkiller is not going to be everybody's representation. Let me see. Be the people writer. If they had made these characters, you think they will make more Legends figures until the cinematic universe kicks in again? That was something that I kind of lightly touched on in the beginning of the stream. Is that because the fans have literally killed the Star Wars cinematic universe with their hatred, the Hot Toys has been forced to adapt and evolve and go down the comic book form and go down the expanded form, go down into the expanded universe. So I mean, what else are they going to make? I mean, they've already pumped the well dry with Ahsoka, or they're going to keep pumping it out. Book of Boba Fett, all right. The Mandalorian, everybody's kind of moved on from the Mandalorian right now. Everybody's excitement to the Mandalorian is kind of weighing down. Andor didn't produce anything remotely cool as far as merch. Everybody said it's a great story, cool, but can you make money off of it selling toys? Clearly, Andor was not a good candidate for that. It's like you can't have a good story and merchandise, or you can have a shitty series and produce a lot of cool toys, but like you can't have one. Apparently, you can't have one with the other. I saw all these releases last night, and I was like, "Who?" Glad I wasn't doing it. Yeah, right. You have to bring a level of scrutiny in the world of Hot Toys, right? They're asking you to cough up between $200 to $300 on average for a figure. So you have to definitely pump the brakes. And I'm like, okay, what do we have here, right? Not so much throw an Endor celebration, right, on the Force Move of Endor, like, oh yeah, it's great. No, wait a minute now. This game was particularly fun for me at the time, and I don't I don't know who that is. You're asking me, and it's a decent price on 270, right? $270. But everybody knows that what made Starkiller cool as shit was the motion capture actor of Sam Witwer that made it possible. So again, it's odd, right? Again, it's not the end of the world, but it's a little bit disappointing. That's what it is. It's just like, like you were so close, Otto. You were so close to getting there, but you kind of dropped the ball. Am I still buying it? Yeah. I did pre-order Starkiller. I pre-ordered him last night. I had a $20 coupon that I used for the BT1. And then I had $24 sideshow points. So then I just applied to it and just just to ease the blow. I love coupons. I have to, it's really sad that I have a list of retailers that I feel trustworthy right now. And it's really sad that one of my trusted retailers has done me dirty. It's really bad. It's not Sideshow. It's just like I can't believe I'm still dealing with this issue where I was promised a figure early February and I'm in April, and this retailer has essentially fucked me over and they haven't delivered. And every time I send them an email, they pull up some bullshit excuse. They'll say, oh, well, we're in the middle of Chinese New Year. Oh, I'm waiting on my distributor. Oh, it's coming, prayer emojis. We're working on it, then we'll get you the figure. And it's actually not. It's actually not. I've only ever purchased one thing from Toys Wonderland. And it was the Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett. They had them discounted there and so forth. But it's just sad that, and it is an overseas retailer. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to just. I've made an effort to kind of cut back on my pre-orders. I have a rule where I'm trying to keep 30 pre-orders on my Google spreadsheet. Unfortunately, I broke it last night because I'm up to 32 pre-orders right now. And where's my Starkiller? And I'm busy. I'm out chasing adventure. If I'm not working and if I'm not hiking, if I'm not doing this at the family, and when I pay for something and I don't get it, I shouldn't have to stress myself. Where is my product? And it's a shame because I've used them for quite a while and now I just don't know. And it just sucks. So, and I hate pre-ordering. Well, not hate. I don't particularly enjoy pre-ordering through Sideshow just because I want to save money. There's a lot of stuff I really, really want. I want to keep my collection growing, healthy, fun. And unfortunately, as wonderful as Sideshow's customer service is, they're also the expensive one, right? They're charging me tax. Tax in Nevada is 8.5 and the shipping and so forth. So I have a couple retailers that I won't mention in the US that still deliver free shipping and no tax. And then there's a couple overseas that I thought I can trust. And yeah, you have to use a spreadsheet. You have to keep track of this stuff. It's too much. It's too much. And I've learned that I don't stress myself if I try to keep my pre-orders under 30. 30 is a safe number because of surprises, because you never ever know what is going to pop up. You don't know. Like, for example, Mr. Stevie, he's one of the designers for Hasbro. He helped design the HasLab sail barge, the HasLab. And he's already confirmed and teased that on May 4th, the next HasLab is going to be Star Wars. It'll be Star Wars themed. As to if it's going to be a vehicle, a playship, I have no clue, but it's going to be Star Wars. So it's surprises like that is the unexpected that I try to not paint myself into a corner, that if something cool drops within a timed window, I can kind of jump in and pick out the stuff versus everybody hating on it, right? What happens if someone can't pre-order something? Oh, it's stupid. They should have just put it on the Target shelves, or they should have done it, through Amazon, whatever. So I'm trying. That's one of it's worked for me. It's one of my things that I've just, it helps me avoid stress, right? So and if I don't pre-order something, then I have to, once the item drops, then I have to do a little bit more research through my US official distributors through Sideshow to pick up the items that have not been released, because I don't like being painted into a corner. I know that when the dewback and the trooper drop, it's going to be stressful for a lot of collectors. I didn't pre-order that. It's coming home, but I need to buy that on my own terms. And my philosophy is, if there's more than 2 SKUs, the shit will actually sit. So I'm hoping that once the dewback drops, I can then kind of outsource it. All right, who's going to give me the best deal for the dewback and the trooper set? So I put up this picture here though because I was hoping to sit on this guy, but the problem is that they're adding some special edition bonus. These beautiful little Star Wars coins, which just it's a trope. It's a comfort accessory when it comes to Star Wars. Add in an exclusive commemorative coin. Hasbro's done it, and a few other companies have done it too. Hasbro's not the only one that's ever done the collector coin. A few others have done it too. I think Hallmark and a few others have done it too. So the fact that Hot Toys has gotten into the coin situation, I do like collecting coins. Yeah. It's so gimmicky and it's so stupid. I'm like, oh, I do want that. I do. So I had to pre-order this, and I was able to use a coupon on this. So this is cool. And I'm hoping that a third-party developer or somebody could come up with a really cool head sculpt of the actor, right? Maybe we'll, that way you can pop it up and you can do a little bit of customization, because like I said, to me, that is the definitive look of Starkiller right there. That's the skin you start off with his tattered clothes. And so it's odd that our first high-end representation of Starkiller is based off of downloadable content with a helmet. And yeah, it's wild. This is completely wild. And then then there's that red coin, which I assume collectors are gonna chase. So I'm fine with the gold coin. I'm not gonna lose sleep because I'm not able to get a hold of the red coin. Looking at the pictures, I mean, it looks awesome. It looks like they did a bang up job on this. So it looks like they did a really, really good job. So again, this is one of the reasons too, like, Hot Toys is getting clever. They're keeping me from going through outside means, using other comic book venues to buy, because there's a few of them out there, like I said, on the internet that offer free shipping and no tax. And I can tell you, my second Delorean, my Mark II, I purchased it because I don't buy from this company very often, but I'll tell you who they are. Believe it was Time Walker Toys, free shipping, no tax. Yeah. So that was for my seconds. I needed another Mark II. I needed a pristine Mark II. My first Mark II, the one that I did all the modifications, it's been just drilled and battered. Oh my God, I got to tell you, folks, I got to confess something to you. I did a photo shoot with my Mark II DeLorean. This was like early in a couple months ago. I took my Mark II to the Las Vegas sign, and I built I don't know if it's here. I built some makeshift gantry to put the DeLorean on to create the illusion of flight. And I put it on top of my my truck. And something happened where I got off the bumper off the truck, and my DeLorean fell on the road and it shattered into pieces. I shit you not. Talk about a depression. My Mark II fell off the top of my truck on this makeshift steel gantry. I don't know where it's at. And the door, like the gullwing door flew off. The rear thrusters just shattered. There's dents and scratches all over the body. Unfortunately, that DeLorean, right, will no longer fly, right? It suffered a catastrophe. It was essentially struck by insecure facilities. But using the technology at the time, I was able to kind of rebuild it and glue parts back into it to get it up to code. So yeah, that was horrible. I don't like talking about that. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. But anyway, this is not a Back to the Future live stream. Do you guys want to know which retailer overseas fucked me over? I swear to God, they won't. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Right here. I bought the Spider-Man Andrew Garfield with the lizard diorama, the 2-pack set. Bought it from KG. Bought it in November. And I opted for slow shipping. And it arrived, a couple months later in January. I opened up the box and I'm like, it's just a lizard diorama. Took a bunch of photos. This is at the end of January, early February. Took a bunch of photos. I go, what gives? You just sent me the lizard diorama. Where's my Andrew Garfield? And he acknowledged. He goes, oh, sorry, it was our mistake. And we're in the middle of Chinese New Year. As soon as we get done, we'll send you Andrew Garfield. All right, cool, no problem. 4 emails later, we're approaching May, and I have no Andrew Garfield. So, yeah, it's official. KG Hobby's on my shit list. Fucking me over with my Andrew Garfield. I don't even know at this point. I don't even know if I'm going to get it. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Just when I encounter just stuff like that, I get triggered way too easy. Yes, unfortunately, the DeLorean will no longer fly. It was bad. I didn't even want to take photos. I didn't even want to talk about it. Like, it hurt me. All right, there's more to the story. There's more to the story. To the DeLorean being shattered in front of the Las Vegas, because I have I still posted the photos on Instagram. I had the DeLorean on a steel arm in flight mode on top of the truck, so I can kind of create the composite illusion of the DeLorean flying. And there were 2 girls walking by, and they showed interest in the DeLorean. It's Las Vegas. They were high energy, so to say, bubbly. I got distracted and I let my guard down as I jumped off my truck, and my DeLorean that they were so admiring fell right in front of these 2 girls, and it shattered. I'm telling you, if there was a bus right across the street, I would have probably stood right in front of it. It hurts, man. Seeing one of my babies like that get shattered, like, it was bad. It was bad. Stop it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It was not. It was KG Hobby. Yeah. KG Hobby did me wrong. Was the DeLorean insured? Who did this one? Yeah. Yeah. Still have not gotten my. Really? That's in art drama. You in art if you apparently they haven't even fulfilled their Gandalf fulfillments yet. So you'll need to talk to the in art ambassadors that are in bed with them. I'm assuming if you can reach out to Big Bretta, he'll be able to assist you if his hands are free. Uh, and a few others who are loving that inart juice. If inart if inart was a manifestation of a dildo, yeah, that's exactly what goes through my head. Who's riding that? I no inart. That's Are they still around? They probably got shelved right next to X06. Yes. What do we have here? So I'm not the only one who's felt the pain. Oh, the pain. Sadly, I've had a few issues recently with KG Hobby. Service level has dropped recently. The Batman Vader CPU needs shipping. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're on the verge of disappearing. So let's issue out a warning. Folks, be careful. Be careful with KG Hobby. Times may have... Look, I've used them for years, and I get it. Times are tough. There are retailers that are being pruned out of existence due to inflation, economy, etc., etc. And so maybe we're at the twilight years of KG Hobby. Maybe they, maybe they deserve. What's the meme? They deserve this. Where is it? Where is my? Do I still have this meme? This is what.
If this body is not capable of action, I suggest new leadership is needed. I move for a vote of no confidence.
Yeah, that's where they're at right now. That's the way I see it. Yeah, right. Still got. Was that your only one? No, I have plenty of DeLoreans. The one that was shattered into pieces, is the one that I was able to rebuild and keep away in the distance. In fact, you can actually still see it. So the one in flight mode on top, yeah, I'll show you, is the one. So the one up there, right next to the Enterprise, that's the one. And then I got plenty more DeLoreans. You can kind of see in the bottom. So, but anyway, it just breaks my heart, right? It's just sad. It's just like, oh, just shattered, right? Just shattered. All right, what are we talking about? We're talking about Lord Starkiller and how cool he is. So I did pre-order them. I did. Got it. I pre-ordered the exclusive with the gold coins, USB lightsaber, bunch of hand swaps, and some other really cool. Like I said, it's a shame. It was so close to perfection to make it. And this is part of their new line, the Legends line, right? The Legends line. So, but they still have the video game logo down there, don't they? They still have it right here. Video game masterpiece series. So this was a pre-order. This is an easy pre-order. Now you have the DeLorean from Part 3 after the train wreck. I did consider that, but I'm still getting the Mark III DeLorean. That was that your only? I always have plenty of replacements. So it's coming home. Starkiller's coming home. It is what it is. It's coming home. Now let's talk about the one. That also raises questions. Darth Revan. You kids out there excited for Darth Revan? Or Revan? I've heard different ways to pronounce his name. Is it Darth Revan or Darth Revan? Never thought I'd see Hot Toys touch anything Knights of the Old Republic. So let me remove this here. Stop screen. So I have to confess, up until 24 hours, well, yeah, up until last night, I had no clue who Darth Revan is. I've always known of him, right? I've always heard his name. I even have, I'm pretty sure I have the Hasbro Black series for oops, sorry, get this here. I'm pretty sure I have the Black series of Darth Revan. I have no clue. I just thought he was I thought he was from the novels, from the expanded universe novels. I've never had any interest in him, right? And again, at the start of my live stream, at the point in time, I guess when his popularity tends to peak up and down. I was following the teachings of George Lucas. No, expanded universe counts. It's all schlock, right? Before he sold to Disney, all of that expanded universe nonsense didn't count. So for me, and I was following the teachings of the cinematic universe, I never invested into this character. I'm like, okay, another Sith Lord. Oh, Denobi's not Sith Lord, he's a Jedi. Huh? Oh, but Denobi, and then you talk to somebody else. Oh, he's a great Sith. I'm like, what? Is he Jedi? Is he a Sith? No clue. So I had to watch a tutorial to bring me up to speed. And I'm going to give this channel, because this is probably the best one right here. Let me see if I can pull him up here, because this is probably, I have to give this channel a shout out, because this is what I watched to kind of bring me up to speed, because I'm like, I have no clue who this guy is. No clue. But everybody seems to be swooned by this particular character. So let me remove the banner. So yes, history of Darth Revan. This channel right here, of 14-minute video, was able to bring me up to speed on who the fuck is Darth Revan. I have no clue. Is he from the comic books, the cartoons? Right? But this channel here, Variant Comics, does a fantastic job. So I just wanted to kind of give them a shout out here.
You know that Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, hits theaters this weekend, which will bring an end to the Skywalker saga that has spanned 9 films. And love or hate, the latest.
So he posted this 4 years ago, but he kind of goes into the whole lore and of who the character is. And because I'm like, I don't know who this guy is.
Can do to help. If you dig Variant and the content we put out, we would kindly ask that you share our episodes after you watch them, both here on the YouTube platform and whatever social media platform you like most. It's a small thing that can make a huge difference towards helping us work past YouTube's madness. So as always, thanks a ton for your help and support. And with that said, let's take a look at Revan and find out why he's such a beast. Revan was created by Drew Karpyshyn and first appeared in the Star Wars video game Knights of the Old Republic in 2003. His story was later expanded upon in the 2005 sequel game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, and then finally started hitting book form in Star Wars The Old Republic Revan, which became a New York Times bestseller. As far as comic books go, he hasn't made many appearances, but we do see him in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Star Wars Tales. It's actually,
again, a really informative video. I never had the original Xbox. Apparently, with the Knights of the Old Republic, it was one of the go-to titles of the time in 2003. I can tell you what I was doing in 2003 as far as gaming. I'm pretty sure I had the Nintendo GameCube. So that whole world, because I guess the games were released on the PlayStation. I never had a PlayStation 2. I never had the original Xbox. Like I said, it was the GameCube. And I didn't get back into gaming until Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2004, 2005. And I got in hard and then I was back into it. But like the early 2000s, this whole Knights of the Republic, I have no clue. But again, I just want to give the channel a shout out on here, because he does a really, really cool and in-depth job of who this character is. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. Was it really the 2003 Game of the Year? I have no clue. Because Revan got mentioned by the name of the Rise of Skywalker novel, bring Revan back to canon for the first time. Like I said, it's what's interesting about this. Again, this is another. This is such a huge gamble for Hot Toys, and I have to give them an applause because it's different when Hasbro does it. You're only asking the consumer for $25 or $20 or whatever for an action figure. Most of us, I promise you, bought the Darth Revan Black Series. I have him. I have him Black Series. I just think he looks cool. Do I know who the fuck he is? No. I don't. Again, up until less than 12 hours ago or 24 hours, I watched that specific video, that channel, to kind of bring me up to speed. I'm like, you know what, Denobi, maybe it's about time you kind of educate yourself on this character because I have no clue who he is. I bought his action figure a couple times, not multiple. I'd probably say twice. Probably have him in Vintage Series and Black Series. I don't know where he is. I know I have him because I've seen him before, but I had no clue that his helmet is Mandalorian. That video is the one that educated me that he started off as a Jedi, then Sith, then back to a Jedi. Then he willed himself into existence. Very interesting character. I found, like I said, it's fascinating. Well, now, I don't read novels. I'm not going to go and play Knights of the Republic. To me, I have no interest in any of that stuff. Again, to me, that stuff was not canon. Now, whether or not they bring the specific character into the cinematic universe, I don't know. And then if they do, based off this tutorial video that I saw, he seems like a very complex character to bring. I don't think you can bring someone like Darth Revan to a Disney Plus show unless you dedicate probably 10 or 15 episodes. You can't unravel his story arc with the shitty 6 or 8 episode format that Disney Plus is known for at 30 minutes. Like from what I learned, his history is very, very long and very, very complex. In fact, at one point in this video, I learned that he was kept in a prison for years under torture by a Sith emperor or something like that. So it's a very complex character, and I definitely give Hot Toys credit for taking an expensive leap of faith into a particular character like this, because you're assuming that everybody in the Star Wars 1/6 community, they know who he is. And I mean the history of what he represents, of what he is, and how he got the helmet from the Mandalorian, from the battle, and so forth. Because I've always known of him, I've heard of him, but I didn't know what he was. I didn't even know if he was. For the longest, I just thought he was a Sith, and I got a couple of years ago. I remember talking to somebody at work, and I was like, "Oh, he's a Jedi," and like, "What?" I don't, but I never cared because, like the photo says, Legends Expanded Universe. To me, it's not canon, right? Some of you may want to argue, and then that's fine. But in my world, the way I got my intake of Star Wars fuel, this particular character was very irrelevant to me. Now, based off of the video game, so I don't even know if his representation from Hot Toys is accurate to what he looks like in the video games. And I know he changed different outfits in the novels. He goes through different incarnations when he's between Jedi, Sith, between Jedi and Sith. Like, for example, I don't even know if this look here is his Jedi representation or if it's his Sith representation. No clue. And I'm actually just asking a question to you, the audience. The photo that we're looking at right here, this photo, is that his Sith representation or his Jedi representation? Because from what I understand, when he's in different forms, when he's between the light side, and because he's powerful in the will that he can master the light and force, but his appearance does change. So it's just, thank you. And again, I'm not. It's not. I clearly do not know. So it's his Sith outfit that we're going with. Gotcha, Sith. Thank you. Oh, look at that. See, yeah, I didn't know. I honestly, genuinely did not know. Darth title Sith. Yeah, so it's a Sith. So does that mean that if this particular character from Hot Toys sells well enough, that we'll get his light side representation? That'd be kind of interesting. But again, I see it as an expensive gamble because in the world of Star Wars collecting and the different factions of Star Wars, not everybody likes everything within Star Wars. I mean, perfect evidence is just listening to some of us who host these live streams, and I'll listen to other panelists who have never even seen the Bad Batch, who've never seen the Clone Wars, who only read the books, who know this, who know that. I've always felt that that's always been one of the biggest Achilles heels for the Star Wars universe, is that there's way too many splinters. It's factioned way too wildly. You have the cartoons, you have the novels, you have the cinematic films, you now have Disney Plus, now you have this, and one second, guys. Phone call there. So again, this is where we're at right now in the state of the world of Hot Toys, because the fans have literally killed the cinematic films. Hot Toys has now been forced to kind of go into the expanded universe realm, which is, like I said, has always worked really well for Hasbro. My question, this is where my skepticism will kind of creep in, is that I don't know how well, and this is the problem, we don't know what the numbers are, how well this guy is going to sell within the Star Wars community, right? We can all say he looks badass. He looks great. He's the best. He's so much cool, but are you going to fork up the money for him? Because he retails for $270. So there's a difference of saying something looks badass and cool and you love him and you know him, but are you going to step up to the plate? Like, do you love him that much because Starkiller, The Force Unleashed, was a juggernaut franchise IP. I mean, that game was released on every console format in 2008. It was released on the DS. It was released on the Wii. It was released on the Xbox 360. It was released on the PC. It was released everywhere. PlayStation 3. It's huge. Like, there's no way. Plus, he had comic books too. Starkiller was huge versus just that 2-minute representation of that video I showed you. Oh, Darth Revan showed up in a couple of Knights of the Republic in 2003, then a novel and a comic book, and then that's it, right? And then the video kind of goes into what he is and how he fell from the light side and so forth. So just because it's worked for Hasbro, I'm just very skeptical if it'll work in the high-end 1/6 scale. Now, did I pre-order him? At first, I didn't. I'm like, no, I don't know who you are. Like, who the fuck are you? I don't know who you are. I go, I have a large 30 plus list of hot, pre-orders right now. And why should I care about you, right? So after watching that video, and then I went down a little bit more down the rabbit hole, I started to recognize his importance and his strength and so forth. So my first two pre-orders were last night, were BT-1 and Starkiller. And then today, once I did enough research and I understood who he is, I did end up pre-ordering Darth Revan. So I kind of told myself that it'd be kind of badass to have a collection of Sith Sith representation. I mean, it's either this or what's our other options? Reva from the Disney Plus shows, or the Sith Inquisitor that looks hokey. Those Sith Inquisitors, they don't look menacing. They don't look threatening. This guy does, though. Darth Revan does. He looks badass. It's funny because all the years I've always heard of him, I didn't even know that his helmet came off of a dead Mandalorian. That's pretty badass. I didn't know that. That's very, very badass. See, Agent Silver Fox, when I read stuff like that, I become so skeptical because that's the same type of hype I heard with like the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars, right? So clearly, from your point of view, you think Darth Revan is beyond badass. But again, just less than 12 hours ago, I didn't know who the fuck he was. I had to kind of educate myself, right? His exposure, in my point of view, from what I learned, was very limited. A couple games, right? In the early aughts, the novel and the comic book, right? All expanded universe. And at this time, George Lucas made it very clear none of that expanded universe nonsense counted. So, do things change? Do people? Sure, they do. I mean, I think I'm not hating on it or anything. If it does really well, if the collectors within the YouTube community who are talking about them do support it, cool. I mean, there's a difference between supporting and then actually purchasing. So I can tell you, I pre-ordered them. I can absolutely tell you that I was able to pre-order them. Again, I was only able to appreciate who he was after I educated myself, because like I said, I never went down that path. Never. Let me pull up some of his photos here, because he too has some exclusives too, doesn't he? And again, after educating myself on who he was, after watching the videos, the nail in the coffin for my pre-order were the coins. I actually do get a kick out of collecting these Star Wars coins. I do. I have an album of the of Star Wars coins. Yeah. So I think this is cool. And so this was another selling. This little icing on the cake with the coin. It's pretty badass. Right? Very badass. I guess the point of the whole story of Revan is not to, just because someone's in love with, look, I have a decent Star Wars collection, folks. I really do. I spend quite a bit on Star Wars. It doesn't mean that I follow everything with Star Wars. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't follow any of the Star Wars cartoons. I don't waste my time with any of that shit. I didn't watch Ahsoka. I haven't seen Andor. I watched the first episode of Book of Boba Fett, and I went, "This is stupid." So I don't, and I know I'm not the only one, because I saw the Nielsen ratings for Ahsoka. It was the lowest viewed Disney Plus Star Wars show to date. So I get that everybody gets excited for these announcements and stuff like that. But again, Star Wars is probably one of the most divided, splintered faction IPs there is. I mean, I think it's worse. No, Marvel's not like this. Star Wars is probably the god awful worst of the different factions. Just because you love, I mean, there's people who just love the Clone Wars and don't even count the movies. Some folks love the sequel trilogies, others do not. Others count the novels, some do not. It is a shit show. It's a big clusterfuck. It is just, it's awful. It really is. And that's why, for me, it was easy to create the blockade for my collection. I go, I don't want any more of these Disney Plus announcements entering this room. Like, it's stupid. It's just completely stupid. But I do applaud what Hot Toys is doing here. 100% taking a chance. This is such a leap of faith for them. So I actually do applaud them, like the Legends collection. Take a break from all the Disney Plus schlock. Take a break from the sequel trilogy. Take a break. It's fine. I mean, I would prefer more of the classic trilogy, but I still think that's coming, you know, or the prequels, right? Because I know May 4th is going to be the prequel day for Phantom Menace. So this right here is pretty badass. I do, because this video game collection series, I follow it with Batman. I do. I actually love their Batman figure collections, like the Harley, Batgirl, and so forth from their video game. Like, I think they're awesome. I think they're really, really cool. So it's something different. It's the extra spice, the salt and pepper for anyone's true collection. So if you don't know who this guy is, man, watch the videos. Like, he's pretty cool. He's very badass. Will I read the novels or comic books or go down those old clunky games? No. It'd be cool to see him in the cinematic representation. I just, like I said, from what I learned, he has a long history, and I think it would be better to keep him within an expanded universe, meaning that if you were to bring a character like this into a cinematic representation, you can make things worse. Let's not all forget what happened to Boba Fett. All right? Look what they did to him. I always thought Boba Fett was a cool, badass character until that first pilot episode of Book of Boba Fett. I said, nope, I'm done. Nope. They're going to waste our time. When I saw that fat fucker crawling out of that Sarlacc pit, I go, nope. Nope. They killed it. And everybody and all the Star Wars devotees that stood there through the very end, what were you guys thinking? They showed up on Vespas. What do you didn't they even cuck that one blue alien with the cowboy hat? Cad Lame. What was his, right? They just no. No. Yes, Paul, I do agree with you on this. I do think that this is going to be very super limited because we are in the age of small batches. Things are going directly into waitlist. Does it mean that it's going to be a large batch and there's something? No, it just means that Sideshow has had enough with us flaky ass collectors, and I don't blame them. I don't blame Sideshow's like, you know what, you flaky ass collectors who are reneging on all our pre-orders, F you, we're going to small batches. So yes, these 3 announcements, 100%, it's all going to be limited. But again, it's because nobody wants, I mean, in retail, the death blow is having overstock. That's what can kill any retailer. So yeah, I don't blame Sideshow. I don't know. I don't even want to speculate when this would probably go on a wait list. So I do know that one of them is showing up this year, though. Is it the BT-1 is slated for the end of the... Yes, the droid. The droid is scheduled to arrive at the end of the year. So yeah, it's like I said, if you want him, great, pre-order him or through other means. You don't have to go through Sideshow. All right, you can go through Alter Ego and a few others. Just don't pre-order them through KG Hobby. They'll steal your money. Whoa. The plot thickens. Denobi hot off the press. Sideshow has now put this on a time release. I don't blame. Now, is it the coin variant, the commemorative coin? That's the one versus the regular one. That would make sense. I'm guessing. I'm speculating that the timed release is for those little pretty coins. Well, those coins got me. I confess, the coins got me. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't even read it. Look at that. I was guessing it, and I didn't. It was already explained from Mama Luigi. Thank you. It's really, and that's. I'm telling you, those coins, they look cool. They sure should look cool. Yeah, it must be for the time. Okay. Yep. Coin exclusive. All right. So we figured out, and that's fine. Like I said, the coins, have them in a little acrylic collector case too, right next to your figure. Ooh, that'd be pretty, wouldn't it? Having Darth Revan in some sort of action pose with the collector coin and some. If they don't get in one of those, because you can get those off of Amazon, like a very attractive acrylic coin case posed right next to him. That's gonna be cool. I love the coins. I'm sorry. The coins are cool. It looks badass. But yes, I would assume that in the next few weeks that the coin versions of Darth Revan and Starkiller are gonna be selling out. So that is my take, folks. Little afternoon run, something a little bit different here. USB lightsabers too. Look at that. They didn't put any effort on that base, though, did they? Same old Star Wars base. But they're bragging about their paint, right? Their metallic copper paint applications and some other stuff. So it makes you wonder, what other from the Legends could they come out? Well, we already know that the protocol droid 000 is inbound. He might even show up tonight. Man, I broke my 30. I think I'm up to 32 pre-orders now. It sucks. Oh, I'm pissed. I was doing so good keeping my Google spreadsheet at 30, and pre-ordering these 3 brought me over. So I need to be careful. I'm telling you, I don't want to paint myself into a corner. I pre-ordered something else too. Oh, the Pip Boy. Yes, because I'm going through like a Fallout kick right now. IGN has a die-cast, real working Pip Boy for $200, and I just added that onto my list. They won't. Yeah, there's a really cool die-cast Pip Boy on IGN. I think that was the last. Yeah, I was like, why am I over 30 pre-orders? But I forgot I added that to my pre-order list. No, on Ghost. That's a really cool. It's no. I'm excited for the movie. I'm not excited for the incoming merch. No. Now, I can tell you, I'm pretty confident that I want the Wolverine, the cinematic Hugh Jackman in the yellow suit. They're going to come out with another Deadpool. I don't need another Deadpool. And any X-Men cameos that Hot Toys decides to make, I don't want any of that nonsense. No. I would be. I'm very highly skeptical, dubious as to what characters Hot Toys can capitalize on this Deadpool. I'm assuming we're going to get a couple versions of Deadpool. We may get 2 versions of Wolverine. We'll get one in his white tux. We'll get one probably in the yellow spandex, and maybe an action battle. We'll probably get different versions of Deadpool and Wolverine. I only want one character from this movie, and if I have the choice, a clean version of Wolverine in the yellow spandex. I don't need him like battle damage or anything. That's it. Any cameos or anything that shows up, it's all fun and dandy. I don't see it. I know people have talked about it in the community, seeing Deadpool as a big threat within the community. Oh, we're going to get hit with a lot of pre-orders. I'm not worried about it. I don't care. I just don't. Marvel is in the hospital too, just like Star Wars is. So I do want Wolverine in the yellow, and not that economy version comic book one that came out. What's it called? From Studios, the one that there's like a thrift economy version of comic book X-Men characters, right? Hano, yeah, Hano Studios, yeah. What's all that about? Yeah, I don't know. That looks hokey. I'm not. No. I didn't buy any Deadpool Wolverine, predicting that one day Ryan would convince he return future-proof. And well, here's the kicker: Deadpool's costume doesn't change that much. It didn't change that much between 1 and 2. So for me, it's one less thing to worry about. I got the one I have is a Deadpool with the high heels. That's part 2, and that's it. I don't need a dust version of Deadpool. I don't know. It's Deadpool. It's Ryan Reynolds. That's it. You have them, and you can kind of move on. Wolverine, though, is different, though. Hugh Jackman is very, very different. So that'd be kind of something. But that's about it. I mean, there's nothing as far as Marvel, Star Wars, and even DC. There's nothing else to look forward to. So, yeah, we are in the age of the expanded universe now. That's what we're at right now. And we're going to get cool characters like this. I'm sure they are. I mean, I'm sure they are. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't care for those comic book representations of the X-Men. I don't even have X-Men other than Wolverine. Yeah, until they get the X-Men universe right, I don't have any X-Men representation in my collection right now. I have the Wolverine in my collection, and I have Deadpool, and that's it. I didn't chase any of that third-party trash from like So-So Toys, and I didn't chase any of that crap. No, comic book version. No, I didn't chase any of that. When Disney gets it right, and they make it worth my while, then yes, I would be somewhat interested in the cinematic representation of the next evolution of the James Gunn, or no, not James Gunn. James Gunn is doing DC. Because now Fox is under Disney. Of the representation of their next crew, because I'm sure they're going to hire young actors and actresses to take on the X-Men helm. So I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But that's still years down the road, though. So the only thing as far as X-Men, it's going to be the Wolverine in the yellow outfit from the film, and that's going to be it. Oh, yeah, that's it. Just collect your passion. Collect what you like. There's just so much. We're in an age where we're being saturated from every different corner, folks. So yeah, just collect what you like. Collect what makes you happy. Honestly, that's really what we're at right now. And I look forward to the protocol droid. I can't wait to get this guy. Where is he? This right here. Did we? Yeah, right here. Edward Scissorhands. Yeah. That'd be cool. I binged Fallout in 2 days, and I've gotten back to Fallout 4, and I just pre-ordered the Pip-Boy 3000, the die-cast limited edition from IGN. They have a timed edition of a Pip-Boy that's die-cast, real working lights, and it has some really cool nifty features. Apparently, rumor is there may even be an Easter egg for season 2 built into this Pip-Boy. So I pre-ordered that. I think it's on IGN for $200, and it's a timed pre-order. Folks, I think I'm done.
If you want the ultimate, you gotta be willing to pay the ultimate price.